Hey Becca, what you up to?
Well, I'm reading the verses from the Sermon on the Mount for this week's sermon,
Ah, yes.
and it's hard. Yeah.
Okay, so
Can I read
from
it to
Matthew
you?
6 there?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's Matthew 6:19 through 21.
So you're kind of having a hard time figuring out what we do with that? Maybe what we tell the kids, I guess?
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
can
why
you
don't
help
you go
me
ahead and
figure
read
it
it and
out?
we'll
Okay.
see if we can figure it out.
Okay, so it says, "Don't store treasures for yourself here on earth.
Okay.
Moths and rust will destroy treasures here on earth, and thieves can break into your house and steal the things you have." Yeah, I understand
Yeah,
that
makes
part.
sense. Yeah.
This is the part that I have a hard time trying to help them understand. So store your treasure in heaven. The treasures in heaven cannot be destroyed by moths or rust, and thieves cannot break in and steal that treasure. Your heart will be where your treasure is.
Well,
So
that
does
does
that
have a
mean-
lot of stuff in that.
Do I just
You know.
throw money in the sky?
Yeah, so I'm thinking, maybe thieves can't break in because heaven's up high. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or is heaven up high? I don't know.
Ah,
Well, what may help, because this helps me, and is have some sort of illustration that we can use so the
Yes.
kids can get it. Some sort of
Where would
visual
we
thing
find
that we
that?
could look at that. Well, you may wonder, but I might have one ready to go.
You
I do.
ready with an
Ready
illustration?
with an illustration.
Oh, that
You want
looks
to help
pretty
me with
cool.
that?
Yes,
I think
I
we
would
can
love
get it.
to.
Help you figure it out. Help me
Okay.
figure it out. So, what I have here is we've got some of the things that are in that verse. It
Treasure.
talks about a treasure right there, and it talks about your heart right there. So, yeah, it says wherever this is, your treasure, your heart's going to be right there with it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but
Yeah.
what does
So
that
I get
mean?
that.
What does that mean? Do you know what that
Maybe
means?
it's the things that we value. Because do you have a treasure like that?
I
at
do
your
not
house?
have treasure
I
like
don't
that. I
either.
wish I had some treasure like that.
Ooh,
But if I
that'd be
had some treasure, I would probably value it because
Mhm.
treasure usually is something valuable. So Jesus is saying whatever, you have where you put something that says it's valuable,
So whatever we think is special.
special, important.
Okay.
Your treasure is something where you maybe, sometimes it's your money, but sometimes it's maybe you put your treasure, in things that you spend a lot of time in.
Oh, that makes
Yeah.
a lot of
It
sense.
says, but wherever you do that, wherever you put your time, your treasure is your
Mhm.
time, your money,
Your heart's
your
gonna be
thoughts. Have you ever stop and been really thinking about one thing over and over again?
Oh,
You maybe
yeah.
think about a special toy you want to buy, or maybe
Yeah.
a trip that you want to be able to go.
maybe
and-
especially around Christmas time.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about all the presents.
But all you do is think about it.
Yeah.
So sometimes that may be kind of like your treasure, and wherever you put those things,
Mhm.
Jesus says your heart is not going to be way over here. It's going to be right up next to that treasure, because your heart is really, it's kind of your mind and everything you are.
Mm.
Remember, Jesus said, he told us we got to be careful because what comes out of our heart is most important.
Yeah, when we have good thoughts in our heart, good thoughts and good words are going to come out to people.
Yeah.
I remember us having a
remember that
conversation
conversation.
about that.
So,
Mhm.
so be careful where you put that treasure, because your heart's always going to
It's
go
gonna follow.
right there. It's going to follow it right there. So I was thinking, what are some things that
Yeah.
maybe you or me or maybe our kids here put their put their treasure in sometimes? I thought of one right away.
Really?
This one made anybody out there ever play a video game?
Ooh. I know some
Um,
kids who like some
yeah.
video games.
I like video games. I just can't play any of the ones that are made now,
Yeah.
after 1970 something. But sometimes
You spend hours
you put
playing
hours-
video games.
So if you put hours into video games and maybe a lot of money too, and your treasure goes that way, guess what? Your heart's going to go
There's
that
your
way
heart.
too. You're going to spend a whole lot of time thinking, doing, worrying about video games, and your
Mhm.
heart's going to be right there because you put your treasure in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I think money is something that we can all say that we treasure sometimes a little too much.
Treasure is, treasure chest. Usually that's got money in it, and money is something we have. So if you put your treasure in that money and say, I want to think about how much money I can get, how much money I can save, and that's all you think about,
That heart follows.
that heart's going to follow there. Well,
Mhm.
I've got another idea.
What else?
Does anybody
treasure?
out there have any toys right there?
I have a couple toys that
Yeah.
I really like.
You know, sometimes all we can think about is our toys that we have. And we say, you know what? I'm going to think about my toys. I want to worry about taking care of my toys, which is not a bad thing. But if that's all you think about and spend your treasure on it, your time
Your time.
and your
Time
thoughts,
is
and that's
big.
all you think about,
Mm-hmm.
your heart is going to go that way too. And you're going to
Yeah.
think, this is the most important thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because treasure, it's important,
It is.
but your heart, that's the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you put it in your toys, your treasure, your heart's going to come right after it.
It is.
Can you think of anything else that we might, focus on a lot and spend a lot of time thinking about and doing?
I think
And,
sports.
ooh, wow. So
And being good at sports and spending time is not a bad thing.
Not a bad
Just like
thing.
video games and money and toys.
But
But
if all you think about is that, and you put all your time, all your thoughts, all your energy, all your talents into sports, your heart's going to follow that. And people are
As
going to go,
fast
you
as
know
can
what?
be.
I know the most important thing in your life, because they're going to see where your treasure is. Your heart's going to be right there
Mhm.
with it.
Yeah.
So Jesus says we need to be careful about where we put that treasure,
Mhm.
because our heart's going to follow it. So we got to be careful where we put this thing right here.
Mhm.
You got to be careful where you put your treasure. Now, he says we need to put our treasure where moths and rust can't destroy it. Because, these things, video games, your toys, your sports, even your money, are they going to last forever?
No.
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 They don't. And people can take those things away from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robbers can break in.
So Jesus said you need to put your treasure in things that someone can't take away from you.
Hmm.
You need to put that most important value on things that are, and he called it like this. He said things that are in heaven, right up there. There we go. There's heaven. He said,
Oh.
put your treasures in heaven where moths and rust can't destroy, where thieves can't break in and steal. Well, now, that's not throwing your stuff up in the air to heaven.
No.
That's things that last. Because
Hmm.
at some point, when heaven comes, when Jesus comes back,
What's going to be in heaven?
the things that are going to last aren't these things. It's going to be all the things that last forever, like maybe some other people.
Ooh, relationships.
Yeah.
Friendships.
Maybe, treasures in heaven could be another thing too, because what we do for other people,
Mhm.
that can last forever in their hearts.
Yeah.
you
So
know.
if like the things that we've been talking about of being kind to others.
Yeah, those things that we've been talking about, like being kind, that's going to last forever. And, yeah, so that's a treasure where we put our value. Our heart's going to be right there. So that's a really hard thing sometimes to understand, especially as a kid, because
It is.
we treasure some things like toys and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
it's not bad to think about them and
No.
like your toys. But if you're going to put your treasure in heaven, what might you do with your toys instead of just treasure them to yourself? What might you do with them, you think, Becca?
What do you guys think?
What do you think?
I think share them.
Yeah, I think you'd share them.
I think
Same
share
thing
them.
with your money.
Yeah. I can think of maybe buying a snack for someone at school who doesn't have food
They don't have
very
the ice
often.
cream money that you, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So these things aren't bad, but if you put all of yourself into them, that heart of yours is going to follow,
Mhm.
and people are going to know what's most important. And, I think Jesus wants us to be doing things in such a way where people go, you know what? The most important thing in your life
Is
is Jesus. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think we had a couple kids out there who did just that. I know Dax and Lincoln, they spent a lot of time raising some money
Yep.
to buy some toys and clothes and food for some families in Louisiana.
That
who
lost all of that.
lost
'cause They had a big
everything.
storm that came in.
Yeah.
So they put their treasure not in things that were going to go away. They put their treasure to help other people. So that's like putting your treasure
Yeah.
in heaven. That's cool.
I thought that was a good example. So good job, guys.
Yeah. Well, this week we've got attached here some activities to help you learn about how you can figure out where you're putting your treasure. Maybe if you can figure out if you're putting it in the right places or wrong places, and how that impacts your heart and how you live for Jesus. So as Jesus said, don't put your treasure in things that don't last. Put your treasure in things that last, because that's where your heart's going to be.
Mhm.
Well, you guys have a great week. And remember one thing that I want Becca to tell you. Remember this.
When you love and serve others, you love and serve Jesus, and you put your treasure in heaven.
When you do that, you're putting treasure in heaven. You guys have a great week. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Becca, what you up to?
I'm having a hard time understanding this week's verse. I know I'm dyslexic, but this just feels wrong.
I think I can help you. Are you ready?
Yeah?
And it's not really like telling you what it means.
I can read!
Pretty cool, huh?
Thanks, Scott!
Jesus said to put your treasure in heaven, just like that. And, you know, get them in. Never.
Heaven.
Let's try that again. Treasure chase is on. And the treasure goes this way. Whoa, what's over here? Over here. Slow down.
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna get you.
My treasure just turned upside down.
Oh, I'm confused. Oh no!
Fun with magnets.
Ah! Blocked.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
I dropped my magnet.
You broke your
All
treasure.
right, Becca, should we give them behind the scenes so they understand how it worked? See, your treasure
Exclusive.
can move around, and your heart can move around, and all these things. Here's the secret. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Magnets.
They're so cool.
And when we slide the magnet, the other thing moves.
Wow.
Magnets are pretty fun.
They are.
Yeah. I have a lot of magnets, but I don't put my treasure in the magnets because I don't want my. But what happens? Watch, you ready? Watch this. Now it's
He stole it.
treasure, heart, together
Yes.
again.
Together again.